Bye Magazine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall, Melbourne Pavilion.
Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because we're killing it.
To the Australian MMA podcast. Today's guest is none other than Joseph Luciano. We've had him on the show many a time. He is taking on Sarek Shields, PFL June 12th, 13th. Stan Sports, you can see it in Australia. If you're around the world, I don't know, other places. Joseph Luciano just jumping on the show to chat about sort of fight week leading up. What I was recording on the 10th of June, if you didn't know. So he's in the midst of fight week. He talks about sort of the preparation that goes into fight week, sort of weight cutting, what it's like doing it at his age now and whatnot. Talks about what it's like to be in the PFL, being under the bright lights, and kind of how calm he is in those moments. It's a great chat. As always, we love the man, and we love the partners that help the show get to air. Hex MMA, of course, Combat Sports Insurance, and Drillich Combat Academy. Couldn't do it without all of those partners. Once again, Australian MMA Magazine Issue 1. Pre-orders available now. Just head to shop.australianmma.com.au. Release date, June 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, he is taking on Sarek Shields, June 12th. PFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Luciano. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the show, he is in Nashville. Is our, export now, our Australian over trying to claim the just PFL glory. He takes on Sarek Shields, June 12th. Mate, welcome.
Thank you, mate. How are you, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm good, man. What's it like being in? What'd you say you were in Nashville, Tennessee?
Yeah. Fuck, it was a big trip out here, 30 hours door to door. But it's not a bad city as far as the States goes. It's all right. It's pretty fun.
You sound like you're starting to get weight cut voice.
Nah, it's pretty late here, man. It's like 10, so it's past my bedtime.
Maybe he's getting old.
Man, I am old as fuck.
How is the old weight cut, weight prep as you get older?
It actually has gotten easier as I've gotten older, but I think probably some of that is being a bit more disciplined and having the right people around me, with Big Jack Doherty running the ship with some severe constraints on what I want to eat and when and all of that. So I'm very fortunate to have good people around me in that regard.
This is going to sound like an ad, and it won't be because the bastards charged me full price last time. But when it comes to people like the fight dietitian, how important is it to have those sorts of guys around you?
I think especially at the higher level, like I've done so many of these weight cuts, it pays for itself, man. Like if it gives you 5% extra performance, I think that's worth it no matter what you're paying, even if he's charging you full price.
It's fully worth it. Would you
he's just yelling, he can hear you, and he's yelling at you saying, you got a fucking discount.
But when it comes to like all this sort of stuff, like as young guys and whatnot, would you encourage sort of every athlete or any fighter of any level to sort of do this, or would you wait until you are like in a position where you are?
I reckon that would be ideal to do it at the start, get the program, get in the groove, and then maybe as an amateur go off on your own with that knowledge and build on it. And then when it comes to crunch time, re-employ someone. It's sort of like, you learn to jab first, throw straight. You should learn to look after your nutrition and diet straight away instead of making some bad mistakes. And unfortunately, there's been some guys that have passed away. And I would dare say poor weight cutting practices probably had something to do with that.
What's the worst weight cut you've had?
For early days as an amateur, I ate 2 packets of tiramisu the night before weigh-ins, and then had to cut like 6 kilos on the day as a lightweight. So that was pretty rough. Shaved my head off. So shave my hair off, all the dumb shit. I've done it all, but I think as a pro, I've taken it pretty seriously and had decent success on the cuts.
Do you still get tempted by the tiramisu now?
Nah. I'm like I look up after myself so well that I'm pretty disciplined with the food.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do go in pretty shredded, mate. Is there any sort of like things during your weight cut you can't live without? You know, like, oh, I've got to have a packet of Skittles, so Jack, work it in.
Nah, I just eat it and don't tell him.
Nah, that's cool, man. But is in terms of being a professional, obviously at the next level that is the PFL. Have you changed anything up on that end, or are you still doing the same stuff you were doing on the regional scene?
Same stuff with the diets. I think that's pretty like locked in. You know, I'm in a fortunate position now where I don't have to work as much as I was, so that's probably been the most significant change. You know, as you sort of the stakes are higher, the pay is higher, you've got to sacrifice a bit with the work or PTs or whatever. You know, hopefully it pays off and you get the double bubble when you win.
The what?
The double bubble, get paid the fight bonus. You never heard double bubble?
I've never heard double
Overtime?
bubble.
Really?
No.
Crazy thing.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I mean, when it comes to kind of getting fights in the PFL, you seem to be incredibly active, and I almost want to say fortunate, because I swear heaps of people have been talking shit about PFL not giving them fights, and you seem to be one of their most active guys.
It's interesting. And I would dare say that some of that comes down to economics. You know, I'm not at the top end of the PFL, so my wage isn't probably as high as the guys that are on like, you know, $500,000 to fight. So, you know, get the cheap Mexican guys in and flog them, something like that. But also some of that's probably how I hold myself on these fight weeks. And, you know, I'm down for the business and I've jumped on opportunities, you know, on 2 weeks notice, and then had another opportunity that was on a week's notice that fell through. And then I've had an opportunity on a day's notice. So I think I don't want to sound like a butt kiss or a company man, but when you're down for it, I think you get looked after a little bit.
Well, speaking of company butt kiss, they actually wheeled you out when it came to that with the PFL Australia. You seem to be, I don't know if you were elevated or bent over, but boy, did you look like a great company man during that press conference.
Thank you, mate. I like to hope it wasn't bent over, but I don't know. I do have a lot to say about this MMA stuff. You know, I've been doing it for half my life and it's very dear to me, and not just from the performance side of things and fighting, but what it's done for my life and shaped me as a person. And I'm pretty vocal about, you know, opportunities for fighters, and the PFL's bringing it to the Pacific. And, you know, maybe it looked like I was trying to say too much, but that's just what came from the heart, you know, and I meant what I said.
Yeah, it was very good. In terms of what they plan to do, how likely what do you think the likelihood of it actually happening is? Because everyone has great plans on bringing all these shows to Australia, and it very rarely actually comes to fruition.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, look at what's happened with the GFL very recently. That had every man and his dog signed on massive
I think
deals.
I was signed to that.
and you know, it fell through. I think the PFL's got, you know, the MENA, they've started the Africa, they're very successful in Europe, the States. So I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, and the proof will be in the pudding. It's unfortunate we are a small market, but I think the fans are diehard for it. You know, we've had some of the biggest gates with other organizations. So hopefully the PFL really gets some traction, and, you know, the more opportunities, the more eyes, I think, on MMA in Australia, and having it in homes for free is massive.
Do you reckon 6 shows a year or whatever they rumored to have? Do you reckon that happens?
It's pretty ambitious. I think they'll have to conjure up some fighters out of thin air for that. There might not be enough guys, but I think 3 shows and 1 international show would be pretty cool. But if they can do 6, fucking good luck to them, man. It's great for the fighters. Everyone gets paid, you know.
Are you going to renegotiate because then they don't have to fly you out, so you should get more money?
I don't know if it works like that, but if I keep winning, I'll definitely have some negotiating power for sure.
Well, speaking of winning, I feel like you don't stand a chance because this guy's Tapology photo, he's holding a knife.
That's pretty hectic. I did buy some cowboy boots today, so
Oh, really?
hopefully
sh-
my
Oh, shit.
snakeskins too, brother.
They're good.
Yeah. As all good American things, they're made in Mexico. Um, but yeah, look, if he brings a knife to a gunfight, he's going to be in trouble, brother.
Oh, that's a good quote.
That's a
That was a great. How much do the shoes set you back?
A little too much, especially with our poor currency at the moment. But I feel that my wife's probably going to enjoy them, seeing me in them. So we'll see how that goes. They could be worth their weight in gold.
Nice. Did you get tariffed coming in?
No, I didn't. Fortunately, I was concerned, but all good. Got the visa, got that legit visa, not ending up in any jails or anything. So,
Yes, no federal prisons, no fights on the basketball court.
I'll be right, mate.
And mate, has it kind of not the shine worn off, but are you a little bit more relaxed now with it all in the sense of like you're not like, oh my god, I'm in the PFL or Bellator?
I don't know if there's something deeply wrong with me on the inside. I don't know if the shine's ever been there. It just is what it is, man. I fought all around the world as an amateur, and that was sick. And this feels just like a logical extension of that. I get to punch people in different countries and get paid for it, and it's cool.
Do you reckon the confidence level's there because, and this will sound weird, but it's not the UFC, and as a kid you aim for the UFC, so in a weird way right now you're like yeah, you'll make the PFL your home, you'll be world champion, could be the man in PFL, right? But it's not as bright a lights as maybe you thought it was going to be, and you're kind of like, no, I should be good here.
I don't know. You could look at it like that, or you look at it like, oh, I definitely can't lose to these guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm a shallow person and I've never thought about it that deeply, Mitch. But for me, it's experiences, making cash, and however that comes about, what organization that's in, it's whatever. And I didn't do this to be famous. I did this because I love to fight. So, you're talking about shine and all of that. I think, like Logan Storley probably could have been decent in the UFC. A lot of the guys could as well. So it's just fighting, man.
Well, it's funny you bring that up as well about sort of wanting to be famous and not wanting to be famous. I was talking to Alfred Stoddart, who's obviously getting ready for his Eternal bout. He talked about how he feels like there's not as many fighters anymore, but there's a lot more celebrity, like guys that want that celebrity, sort of they want to be known as a fighter. Do you think they still exist, the tough guy?
Yeah, I do. And I think they're underappreciated for sure. And, I'm a fan of the sport and I love the sport from the Pride days. And that was all about characters and probably not the result as much. Whereas then it went through, the McGregor era, and it's about being a superstar and your brand and O'Malley and stuff. So I don't know. For me, I'm a bit of a sports purist more than like a influencer, obviously.
I feel like if anything, even as great as your career ends up being, I feel like you're going to be known better for almost as a coach and a mentor in the gym. Do you dislike that or like that notion?
Well, hopefully I make enough money that I never step foot in a gym after this anyway. So that's a false statement, Mitchell. I don't know. Who knows what will happen, man? Like, I feel that I can be a very good coach. Whether I'm a better coach than a fighter, I hope not. But we'll see. I think coaching has its own difficulties that fighting doesn't, and vice versa. But for me, I'm very much in the moment and present with this.
And did you happen to catch Kit Campbell's fight, Road to UFC?
I saw the highlight of it, which I think it didn't go very long.
That was the fight.
It was fucking sick, man. That's awesome. And it's so good for a guy that's been on the scene for so long, grinding away to finally get a big opportunity. And hopefully they sign him from that.
When you're out of the regional scene, do you then kind of turn back and start liking everyone? Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, like a John O'Micallef and stuff. You go, okay, well, we're not competing anymore. We're almost like friends.
I've never not liked anyone that I've fought. I haven't liked them either. I just don't know them. They're an object, that I got to get through. It's not like a personal thing unless someone pisses me off, which I've never really had that. So, if the better Jono does, the better it looks for me, and the better Kit does, the better it looks for the Australian scene. So I'm not like a selfish person. There's plenty of opportunities, and, they're both family men. And if they make money, get success, that's fantastic too.
And I asked you a little bit about this off mic, and you don't have to answer it on mic if you don't want, but your recent teammate, Sam Kakembo, left the gym.
Yep.
People always assume that that's obviously they go out kicking and screaming and they hate all you guys and they want it to burn down. First off, was it like that? And B, is it like that?
Look, I think it's ridiculous you're asking me about this, Mitchell. Look, the featherweights and the welterweights, obviously a little bit different crew. We're all friendly and stuff, but the guys, the welterweights, we sort of all look after each other. And if one of the boys moved gyms and they sat down and said, hey, man, like this isn't working for me, I need to go to another gym, what kind of absolute asshole would be like, nah, that's disloyal and fuck you? This is like, it's a team sport and an individual sport wrapped up in one. And if Sam feels that he was stagnating and he needed to go somewhere else, good on him. And I hope he has success. That's not my vibe to be a vindictive person like that. If you do something to me, I'll chase you to the gates of hell. But I think he's trying to do the best thing for him. And I don't blame him for that at all. People can go about things the right way or the wrong way for sure, but you can't hold someone to a set of values like that.
And now, mate, with your bout coming up, Sarek Shields, is there anything about his game that concerns you going in? What can we expect?
Yeah, look, I think what he was there watching the last fight, right, and saw me get sort of smothered for the full 3 rounds. So I think that's probably his logical pathway to victory. And he's got some subs and some front head, some attacks. So, I'm going to try and negate that. And I think my last fight didn't get to show my grappling as good as it is. And, I've got 7 or 8 submissions in my last fight wins. So, I am dangerous on the ground. And I think my striking is going to be top notch compared to his. So,
is there a prediction?
Second round KO.
And also, did Simon Carsons take your brown belt off you after the last bout?
Fuck.
Because he gave it to you for a sub win. Like, surely he takes it off you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he said if I do that again, he's going to demote me back to blue. So I was blue for like 12 years, but we'll see, mate. We'll see.
And finally, mate, obviously fight week. You got your dietitian in the room. What are you eating? What's the
I've been eating some bison mince, which is fucking really good. Some bison mince, some lamb cutlets, some eggs, bit of cheese. It's been fucking good eating, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, real good eating. And Andy, my coach, is out here too, and he's a chef, so I'm sure he'll start whipping up a storm.
Jeez.
So yeah, food's been good. Food's been great.
Like how you brought no training partners, but just everyone.
No, I've got Sam Miles here and Simon Carson as well.
Just food.
No, I got Sammy here as well as a training partner, and Simo's out here too. So full crew.
No, it's good, mate. All right. Well, best of luck heading into the fight. Obviously, you'll do well.
Andy, did you just say don't mention you? I did.
Hey, I'll let you off easy this one too.
Oh, thanks, mate.
All right, mate. Best of luck, and
thank you.
Chat to you real soon. You better win. Otherwise, I'll pretend like I don't know you.
Thanks, mate. Gotcha.
There, mate.
And we'd like to take the time to thank our gym partner, DCA, the home of Australian MMA champion Anthony Drillich and aspiring athletes. If you'd like to know more, head to drillichcombatacademy.com.